Welcome back to another video tutorial brought to you by virtualinstructor.com. Today we're going to talk about the 6 ways to create the illusion of space on a two-dimensional surface. So these are ways painters and people who are creating drawings create the illusion of space on flat surfaces. First way is linear perspective. Now there are 3 types of linear perspective. There's 1-point perspective, there's 2-point perspective, and 3-point perspective. In this box I'm just going to draw a quick example of 1-point perspective, and that's where you have a vanishing point on a horizon line. And then your lines go to the vanishing point, and it kind of creates the illusion of space there. If you want a more detailed explanation of linear perspective, I suggest you watch the videos on 1-point and 2-point perspective here at virtualinstructor.com. Second way to create the illusion of space is overlapping. When you have one object that is closer than another object, you can't see part of the object because there's overlapping that occurs. So if this object is in front of this object, some overlapping will happen. You won't be able to see part of that object behind it. The next way is by manipulating the size. So if I have an object right here and it's closer to the viewer, and we have an object that's a little bit further away, it may be a smaller object. We'll put these objects on a surface like that. This object is going to appear closer because it's larger than that object. The next way to create the illusion of space on a two-dimensional surface is by placement on the paper. And you can kind of see that happening here in the size box. But when you put objects that are lower on the picture plane, if you put objects lower on the picture plane than objects that are higher on the picture plane, generally it kind of creates the illusion of there being some space between those objects. Now this is not always true. Sometimes an object could be flying or floating in the air and it may be higher on the picture plane. But as a general rule, objects that are placed lower on the picture plane appear closer than objects that are higher on the picture plane. Now value and color. Value and color are different things. Value is the darkness or lightness of a color, and color is reflected light. So they're clearly different, but value and color can affect the illusion of space as well. Objects that are closer generally appear darker in value and warmer in color, and objects that are further away generally appear lighter in value and cooler in color. And we're not going to work with color here, but I am going to work with value. So let's say we have a little hill right here and it's closer. It might be a darker value, so we'll illustrate that with a really dark color right here. Now let's say there's a little hill that's a little bit further away. It may be a little bit lighter in value. I'll draw another hill. It's a little bit further away. And then let's say there's one beyond that, and it may be even lighter in value. And then there may be one that's way off of the distance and it's a lot lighter in value. And that's a good way to illustrate how value and color can affect the illusion of space. The last way to create the illusion of space is with detail. Objects that are closer to you are obviously more detailed than objects that are further away. So if we had a stop sign right here and that stop sign was close to the viewer, you would probably be able to read the words stop. Now if there was a stop sign that was further away, obviously it might be too small to see the word stop. So detail, having more detail in objects that are closer, are going to make them appear closer than objects that are further away that may be less detailed. So these were 6 ways to create the illusion of space on a two-dimensional surface.